No. Okay.
Okay, you're back.
Here, I'm gonna actually because it's, if you see how it's delayed.
Mm-hmm. That doesn't matter for you.
Right.
Because you guys will have that.
So basically it is.
Rachel says hi. See, I'm not seeing
You
it
see
on here.
see her comment?
I saw it on there. I did
Oh.
not see it on here.
Hi, Rachel. We are just setting up. Anyone who can hear me, please say hi.
Hi.
Here's Dawn. She's the superstar tonight. Yeah, so you can't see the comments on there?
I got it.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Yay! All right. We're starting Flock Talk number 2. Okay. Hello, Cara. Wendy, hello. Amber. Okay, you seen all these, Michelle?
I have seen all, yes.
All right. Well, we are going to get started with our second Flock Talk with Dawn out here at our Clarkdale location. You have a lot of awesome information for us tonight, huh, Dawn?
Yes, absolutely.
You do?
Someone would like to know what location we're at.
We are in Clarkdale. Should we look at the chicks real quick?
Yes.
Let's take a look at the babies. Okay, Dawn, what have we got?
Barred rock bantams, golden sex links, and then our cat ones.
Our pets here. Got some little babies. They're very... Hello.
That's Sky.
Sky. Hi. All right. Well, you want to go back over there to the...
Yes.
Hello, little
To my
chick.
spot?
To your throne. And there's a little bit of a delay too, so sometimes I'll say something, and since there's a little delay, it might say it, and then they won't hear it. They'll ask first. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for me too.
yeah. So all right, Dawn, let her rip, Tater Chip.
So I figured today I would talk about the questions that people ask the most when they come in the store, and hopefully answer some of those. And then if you guys have other questions, feel free to ask. I'll get to those in between or afterwards. So the first one I want to talk about is protecting your baby chicks or grown hens from predators. I think it's hard for a lot of people because I know everybody wants to free range their birds, and I think that's the best way to do it. Mine aren't free range, but they are out 3 hours a day, and I built them a huge enclosure where they're safe throughout the day so that they're not bored. But if you do have yours outside, you have to have tops because hawks, owls fly in. You have to make sure that if you do free range and they don't go in the coop, you have like pallets or bushes or things they can go under to protect them. Let's see. I guess a lot of people say that they don't think that coyotes and stuff can jump fences, but I have a 6-foot fence and he jumps it with ease. He sits right in front of the coop. So I do have a lot of predators, so that's why I choose not to free range them unless I'm outside with them. But if you are going to have them outside, you should have places for them to hide, like I said. And if you have a run, it should have a top so that things can't fly in, because the hawks and stuff will just come in and take them. The second thing is, I think the biggest one I get the most is sick chickens. somebody comes in and they say their chickens are, not moving around, or they're not eating or drinking and they're just sitting in their box. The thing with chickens is it's so hard to tell exactly what's wrong with them because a lot of the symptoms end up being the same thing or many different things, and it's really challenging. Over the years, I've just tried to learn from what I've done with my chickens and figure it out. Mites can be an issue. You can't see them per se. I have seen them, but you have to get pretty close. But you can't really see them. So I do dust mine spring and fall and put some in their dirt when they dust bathe. I do recommend having a dust bath for them. If they're in an enclosure, they should have a dirt spot that they can get in, and it has to be a decent depth to it. It can't just be like a layer of dirt on the ground. They have to be able to dig in because they kick it up, and by them doing that, keeps the mites off of them. Another, I think, a health issue would be being egg-bound, and that one's kind of tricky. I've probably saved 50% of mine, and the other half I haven't, but you can give them like a warm bath. It kind of relaxes them. You can sit them in a warm sink with warm water. I've put olive oil around their vent to kind of help guide the egg out. Sometimes it gets a little scarier than that, and I just haven't had to actually do anything much beyond that, but I have saved half of mine that way. But I think all of the illnesses, they're going to happen anyway, but a lot of the time it can be prevented by keeping the coop clean, keeping chickens out of drafts, and just regular maintenance on your screens, your fences and stuff to make sure, because things do wear over time and that does create holes and things can get in. But all of that will keep them somewhat healthy over time.
Hey Don, can we get a question in? I have a question from Lindsay here. She is in upstate New York, and about 2 to 3 weeks ago, her rustic rambler hen began molting. She says, most of mine usually molt in the fall. Is it normal for a hen to molt this time of year?
I actually believe it is. Normally it is the spring and the fall, but all of mine molted about 3 or 4 times this year at different times, but our weather here has been kind of up and down, a little different than it normally is. So it is normal. It's definitely normal.
Okay.
I would just feed her a little extra protein, like mealworms and stuff, because that helps their feathers grow back.
I have another question for you from Jessica. She says, I have 2-week-old chicks in one brooder and 1-week-old chicks in another brooder. What is the best way to introduce the younger chicks to the older chicks?
Since they're that young, that is going to be the best time to actually do that. You can try putting them together and see if they do pick on one another. If they do, wherever they're at in a brooder, if you had a system kind of like this, you could put wire in between so they could see each other. I know, I was trying to open it.
Is it open with the lamp there?
Supposed to, yeah. I don't know.
Oh, does it have a latch? Oh. Ooh, a paperclip.
It's falling apart. No, maybe it's,
So,
it's on this side.
oh, okay.
There we go.
User error. Okay, so it's got the
So,
top and then...
Yes, if you have them in here, you can put just a piece of hardware wire in between so that they can see each other and they'll get used to each other. And over time, being they're so young is the best time now, because once they get older, it's way harder to do that.
I like this.
No, that thing's amazing.
Stand like right there.
Another question for you from Jane. She'd like to know, would you recommend keeping turkeys with chickens?
I do know a lot of people that do, and I've heard that you're not supposed to, due to a disease that I think it's called blackhead, that the chickens or the turkeys can give one or the other. A lot of people do, but they have a lot of room where they're not confined. I would say if you're going to do it, make sure you have a big enough space that they are not like confined together.
Someone said they see this big stuffed rooster in his spurs, so let's say hi. That's a big one.
The baby.
The little one there. Does it have a name?
Chicken.
Chicken. Oh, okay. Creative.
John,
Yes.
Leslie wants to know, when can chicks start having treats?
So, the feed that they eat has everything they need, and I would highly recommend they have that for at least 6 weeks before you give them treats. If you are going to give them additional treats, it shouldn't be very much at all till they're fully feathered around 12 weeks. And if you are going to do it, you should provide chick grit in addition to their feed, just because it helps digest and grind up like any lettuce or anything like that. I give mine when they're small, like a little tiny handful of mealworms. I crunch them up. That's just protein, but I don't do anything beyond that until they're about 12 weeks.
She's writing them down. We've got our...
Good? Good. Should I go to the next one?
Go to the next one.
Because see, that was one of my highlights, was the scraps and the treats and how much.
There you
So
go.
for grown chickens, a lot of people do come in and they say their chickens aren't laying, or I guess they're just not eating their regular feed. And sometimes that's due to the fact they get too many grown-up, like, people food. I, again, highly recommend they eat mostly their feed. You can give them lettuce, different treats like that, but that should not be the bulk of it, and it should be given in the evening so that they're filling themselves up on their good stuff in the mornings. I do think that no matter how old hens are, I personally feel they need the Purina, like the layer crumble, no matter how old they are. Mine are 10 this year and they're still laying. I don't just feed them scratch, even though, they are older. They do get scratch, but not as their main feed. And I was going somewhere with that.
You have the treat, the thing, the list in your hand.
Oh, yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, I figured.
So,
So,
if you come into our store, we will have this list ready for you. It is, I don't know how many pages. It's quite a few, like 6 pages. And it's the list of what they can and can't eat. We'll provide that for you if you come in and pick it up. The other stores should have it next week. They'll have this list in the Chino, Dewey, Flagstaff, and Prescott store next week. And if you don't live close enough, the website is, oh gosh, my handwriting.
heritageacresmarket.com.
And acres and market and heritage are capitalized.
Okay. And do you want to type that in there, Michelle? heritageacresmarket.com.
Thank you.
And we got some more questions.
Oh,
Let me ask another question.
Okay.
Nancy says, my teenage chicks are flying and getting out of the run. How old should they be to clip their wings?
I think you can clip them as long as they have their full, like about 12 weeks is when they're fully feathered. And I can't remember which ones. There's a video online to clip a certain one. I would only do one because that's going to keep them from flying anywhere anyway. You really don't need to do 2. But I think as long as they're fully feathered about 12 weeks, that should work.
I have one other one for you. Rhonda would like to know, should you feed laying pellets and scratch all year round?
Absolutely. Year round. I have a regimen for mine. They eat their crumbles in the morning. It's actually free fed all day. But in the evening I give them blueberries, some oregano, and some scratch, and black sunflower seeds. In the winter mostly, but in the summer I scale back on the scratch because it's hot here. But they just have like a perfect thing that they get. Just got to figure out what's right for your chickens. So about along the lines of the feed, I'll go into like chicken grit for grown-up chickens and the oyster shell. Free-range chickens usually pick up rocks and stuff along the way, which kind of is their grit, so you wouldn't have to necessarily purchase it. I provide it for mine because they're in the coop a lot more, so I put it in a separate cup. Same with the oyster shell. The layer, the Olsen, or the
Purina?
Purina layer
Is it over here?
crumbles, they have everything they need in it, but as my birds got older, I did offer them oyster shell, but in a separate container, and so I would not mix it in the feed. I feel like they're going to get too much eating it that way. If they need it, they do know to go and get it, and they'll go to the oyster shell or the chick grit and get that themselves.
Should we have...
See, and adding baby chicks with grown, well, adding baby chicks with grown chicks, I'll say that really quick too, because she had the two younger ones that are coming together. If you have little ones, they definitely have to be between, I would say, 16 weeks before you try to do it, and I still would try to put something in between, or if you have two coops where they can see each other. I used to let mine out together so that they could run away and then put them away until they got used to each other, and now they're together, but it is more challenging as they get older, so it's really awesome if you buy them all little and they grow up together. If you add other ones in, it can be challenging. Let's see.
Just gonna... all the types
Let me
of
ask
chicken.
you another
Losing
question
mine.
here.
Oh, yeah.
Jessica, she lives in South Carolina, and it gets pretty hot there in the summer. What is the best way to keep them cool?
Thank you. Yes, that's a good one. It gets pretty hot here too since we're in Arizona, and I over the years have come up with some cool things to make my chickens in luxury in this heat. So I have like the bundt cake things. I fill those with some fruits and vegetables sometimes, and then fill them with water and freeze them. And because they're in such a big chunk and they freeze, I pop one out in the morning into their run, and over the day they'll eat it, they'll stand on it, and as it melts it cools the ground. I also save milk jugs, and I fill them with water and freeze those, and I put them in like 4 of them in kind of like a circle, and the chickens get in there, and it's kind of like a little air conditioning. I'd put in ice in their waters. I've hosed down their run. A lot of people use misters. I personally don't, only because I know that chicken feathers are not supposed to get wet because they're not ducks, and it's hard for them to warm up even if it is warm. I do provide a little swimming pool thing with a little bit of water and bricks, and they stand in that, but I usually don't mist, but I do spray down the ground to keep it cool.
Crystal would like to know what would happen if different sizes of chickens come together.
What are the possibilities?
What are the possibilities? I learned the hard way. I let my little ones go in with the big ones, and the big chickens actually ate one of my little ones. It killed it. So that was the only time I've ever done that. But it's sometimes the bigger ones, because it is like a pecking order. They definitely can bully the little ones and kill them, beat them up pretty bad. So I just think unless they're integrated properly, and it does take time, the safest is to not to just put them together.
So what is the best do-it-yourself chicken feeder?
I like the one where it's the PVC pipe, because if it's angled, I wish I had one. If it's angled properly, hanging in the coop, the mice can't get into it and the chicken go to eat it. You can fill it from the top. I believe it stays a lot cleaner from like the wind blowing. There's not any open spots except for the bottom. It's the best one. Definitely a PVC pipe with the cap on the top, and then you can just attach it to the coop.
Jessica would like us to go back to making those ice blocks.
yes.
Can you add like melon, grapes, etc. to the ice blocks?
Absolutely. I know there's a video of me showing how to do that from when Joram was here somewhere on there. He made me do a video where I actually made a couple of them. So I put grapes for sure, because chickens do love grapes. I put anything from like scraps from the kitchen when I peel the cucumbers or anything like that. I put it all in there. I put the red pepper seeds, spices, like anything that I have that's extra. I just toss it all in there and fill it with water. They love it because you can put anything in there. Mealworms.
What is the best way to tell a viable egg?
I just do the float test. I just drop it in a glass of water. And viable, like meaning baby. Wait, I better ask first. Viable meaning like fertilized egg, or a good egg that you want to know if you're going to eat it or not.
I'm going to guess that it is a fertilized egg. We'll go that direction.
Okay, if it's fertilized egg, and let me see if I have one. If you get
Go ahead.
you can get an egg handler. So what you would do is go into like a dark room, and this has the perfect like brightness. Gently, definitely gently, you would hold the egg in a dark room, and you place this at the tip. You have to, if you look online, it will show like the stages, but as it grows, the baby chick, you can actually see its heart beating and moving inside the egg.
Oh, wow.
It is the coolest thing ever. And then it fills up darker as it gets before it hatches. But that's the best way to see. You'll see like the little heart beating in the center.
Ow.
But if it was viable, meaning edible, then I would put it in the water for a float test.
I'm just looking at the babies, giving everybody a peek.
Okay, Dawn,
peep?
A
what
peep.
are the best plants for a chicken garden?
The best plants for a chicken garden.
When they're gonna eat, or
I know, I just like,
when they're gonna, I always plant every year basil, oregano, and my own lettuce. And the oregano it helps with keeping them healthy. Like, it's not, I wouldn't say antibiotic, but it's like a natural immune booster, and so is the basil. So those two plants I grow big pots of every year. You can grow a lot of different things. I would say I've heard that tomato plants, if they eat them, they can get sick. But I do grow the tomatoes only for the hornworms, and then I feed them to the chickens. So,
What is better, oyster shells or egg shells?
so that is definitely going to be a personal preference. I use the oyster shell because I don't have enough time to really like crush them up. Some people say you should bake them first, and some people say you shouldn't. But I've heard you bake them, you can crunch them up and just feed them back. I have heard that's the best way to do it instead of buying oyster shell.
In your opinion, what's the best chicken breeds for beginner chicken owners? And what's your opinion on having chickens shipped to you if you can't find a specific breed locally?
The shipping thing, I would make sure that it's wherever you're at, it's warm enough from where they're coming to you, because even at our store we don't go past April, because it does get really hot, and shipping them can cause them to pass away. As far as the breeds that are the best, the Buff Orpingtons, as she videoed earlier, those little orange guys, the Buff Orpingtons, let's see.
So Buff Orpington.
Americanas,
Kana. It's up here. I think.
which lay the little,
Oh, down here?
wait, where are they? Green eggs, but these are the cream leg bars. I've had a lot of good luck with Polish, Americanas, Buff Orpingtons, Silver Wyandottes, Golden Wyandottes. I know a lot of people do like the Leghorns, and they do lay the best all the time, no matter how old they seem to be. but some of them can be pretty spicy.
What is the cheapest fruit you can feed your chickens?
I don't know. Let me think. I buy everything under the sun.
Did you say you gave them blueberries?
I get whatever's on berries. I get
Yeah,
whatever's
berries.
on sale. Usually in the summer though, it's watermelon. That's probably because you can get so many and they're really big, and I chop them up into like 12 little chunks, and then I freeze them in bags, and then I drop a chunk in each coop in the morning, and it's frozen, so it takes them forever to eat it. Cheap too.
Nice.
All right, you can go back to your list.
Let's see. I also wanted to say that there is a lady that I follow on Facebook. Her name is Lisa Steele. She has a website and a blog called Fresh Eggs Daily, which her thing is fresheggsdaily.com. That's where I've learned a lot of stuff, and when I've had questions, I've gone there. Like, I know nobody wants to talk about death of a chicken, but sometimes chickens do pass away, and you never know. They can be fine one day and just passed away the next, and I always feel like it's something internal that must have been wrong. People ask us all the time what it was, and the only way to know, I guess, is to get a chicken autopsy, but it stinks though when it's your pet. I'm running out of stuff. I thought I wrote too much.
Well, people have had good
Everybody
questions.
has all the
Yeah.
questions that are on my
And do you want to talk about any of the, like the start and grow or anything like that?
Yeah. So the chick boost, we start, once we pick, bug, sorry.
Extra
That
protein.
was a spider. Okay. It was a moth. Okay. Anyways, so we pick the chicks up from the post office, and I bring them directly here. We have the heat lamps ready, so I would suggest when you bring your chicks home to make sure everything is totally set up and warm from the day before so that it's a warm environment. But we put the probiotics in their water for a couple days, and if they haven't sold yet, then we just switch to just regular water. But they do get this for a couple days, and we believe that it does keep them definitely well. Most of these guys are never sick. I put this stuff in mine because it has oregano in my chickens' water in the summer, and the probiotics I sprinkle on their food at night. And some of these products are new for even us. I have no idea what this is, like a supplement you can put on the feed that helps with their eggs. I haven't tried that yet, but I will be. This one, oh my goodness, I freeze these too in the little frozen little crickets. Oh my goodness, chickens love these things.
I think we had a question.
Hey, Dawn.
Yes.
How long would you keep newborn chicks under the heat lamps?
So I know that there is in here like a temperature thing. They honestly, this is the age of the temperatures they should be at.
Oh, over here, like.
We usually get our chicks and they're just 2 days old, and so raising them at home, I keep mine about 6 weeks. Once they start getting their feathers during the day, I turn it off. But if it's colder at night, even in the house, I will.
Well, I was going to say, show them what pamphlet that is, because we have those to
right
hand
here.
out also. So
Yeah.
this is my first year with chickens, Purina. So there's a lot of different brochures here that we have available with lots of good information.
Even have a
chicken checklist. So
Yes.
good literature.
And
If you
then
guys
a
come into the store.
quick guide for healthy chicks.
Yeah, Purina has a lot of really good
Yes, they do.
resources.
And these are all free. So.
Yep. There's the start and grow, which is so medicated versus
Yes, and
non-medicated.
They will eat this till whoever lays their very first egg. If you have 10 chickens or 2, if you find 1 egg, it's time to switch them from this to the lay crumble, which is.
Oh, hurry up, Dawn!
Right here. And And so they will, about 16 weeks is when you'll see your first egg, and that's when they'll switch to this for life.
Let's see. Then they've got the Laina.
One more time, how long they stay on the starter?
Oh, till somebody lays their very first egg.
Till they lay their first egg.
Yep.
Okay.
It's about 16, 17 weeks.
So this is medicated crumbles, right?
Yep. And even though it says medicated, it's really not an antibiotic or anything. It does prevent coccidiosis. I highly recommend feeding the medicated to your baby chicks.
We have those in 50-pound bags.
Little tiny.
We have them in 5-pound bags, and we have them in 25-pound bags. Somewhere.
We're out of the...
Oh. So. Oh. Which website is that? The last one you said, the
Fresh Eggs Daily?
Fresh Eggs Daily?
Yes.
Okay. And
That's like all my...
what about?
Everybody's asking everything. Let's see.
Yeah, they've got great questions, and
Absolutely.
so we've got whoever will anybody who's asked a question tonight will put their names in a drawing, and the winner will get a 50-pound bag of Purina's Start and Grow. And then we'll also choose some people to win a swag bag, which I don't think I brought one out here with me.
I'll go grab it.
Hurry, Dawn. Oh, perfect. How much for the stuffed rooster? This is the brains here, Michelle.
Yeah, I don't think that Dawn will give up her stuffed rooster.
She loves.
She worked hard for that chicken.
We'll just stick it on the plane.
Okay, so we'll also pick, I think we have 3 of these. We have 3 of these to give away. Inside, one of them has an oyster strong ball cap and a little license plate, the chick in, for your coop or wherever you want to put it. And this is a nice
One has a
canvas. Well, yeah, and the other one has a whisk. But we've got a couple of these
are
from
nice.
very generously from Purina Fresh Eggs. All right.
Dawn, so what about broilers for starter feed? What do you do with broilers?
Let's see. I can't remember what we fed the broilers. I do know it was a game bird starters, but I can't remember what I fed them in the beginning, but all our broilers we fed the Broiler Complete, which is by Purina as well. And you can't just leave the feed because they'll eat everything constantly. You have to portion it throughout. I don't even remember, honestly. We did that with my daughters.
Can we get back to them on
Yes,
that one?
absolutely.
Okay, we'll get back to them on that one.
Absolutely.
Another question for you. Is it recommended to give electrolytes and water only in summer, or can it be given year-round?
I would feel if your chickens need it, especially if they're feeling ill. A lot of people do use the electrolytes to boost their energy level. I mean, I wouldn't give it unless they actually were ill and needed it, unless it was hot and they needed it.
Can a baby chick be fine alone, or does it have to have a friend to thrive?
Well, let me show you what we put on our sign. We only sell them in 2 because
We support the buddy system.
yes, we do. They really do like to be together. They're flock animals. They love to be together.
Just one more peek at them. I'm just gonna, while we're over here, I'm just gonna see if they'll come say hi to everyone. They might.
Tap on the...
Here they come. Hi guys. Little babies.
Little
And
puppies.
these are the
Golden sex links.
golden sex links.
They are excellent layers. They lay almost every single day. And nice brown eggs.
They're so cute. Oh, they like you. They don't care about me. They know who feeds them. Okay, so we have some more questions.
Dawn, so, how much protein should a mixed flock get?
I'm not sure of the exact protein amount, but I do know if you have turkeys, ducks, and chickens together, this is probably the best thing for that. This one does all of your whole flock in one, and I believe it is a couple percent higher in protein than the regular lay crumble. I think the other one's 16, this one might be 18, but this is the best one to do if you have chickens, turkeys, and ducks.
And
Geese.
the goose.
The goose.
For the broilers, do you start them on the chick start and grow, or do you start them immediately on broiler feed?
I started them on a broiler starter, and I can't think of,
Okay.
but I did not do the.
So Crystal, we will get back to you. We'll
Absolutely.
send you information on that. Is it okay if I plan to buy just one Bantam Silkie and mix it with a flock of 5 other larger chick breeds? Orpington, Australorp, and Wyandotte.
So, like if you buy one little bantam and then you mix all, as long as all the chicks are around the same age, it's okay. I would just keep your eyes on it, because sometimes even with those little black bantams, they'll pick. We had some others, we dropped one in and they started picking on them, so I would just keep your eyes on them. But I have totally mixed mine because I love silkies. They're my favorite, and I've had really good luck. As long as they're in a group together, they usually do kind of buddy up.
I have somebody asking, Angie is asking, is your store selling 4-H turkeys?
We are not. I had no. We do have turkeys coming on, but I don't know. And I know a lot of kids do buy them, but I don't know. It might be kind of late.
You have your
by the
schedule?
time.
Oh,
right
yeah.
Here. These are usually like the bourbons and the whites that come in that mix. I just don't know if you would have enough time. Since fair, you wouldn't have enough time probably.
The fair's at the end of
May.
May.
It's the first week of May. We're here.
Okay,
All right. Anything else?
that is all the questions I have right now.
And I do see that Rachel Lewis commented. She's on the live right now, and she said she would send some resources via email. Like,
Awesome.
so if you guys want something, put your email address, and Rachel will send you some literature.
You want to tell them a little bit about who Rachel is?
Rachel. Oh, Rachel. She is, well, if you watched our first Flock Talk, she had a nice presentation, and she is Olsen's Purina Livestock Product Specialist. She's a very good asset to our team. She knows quite a bit.
We love her.
We love you, Rachel.
Thankful for her.
All of us together. 1, 2, 3. We love you, Rachel. So I think, hopefully she's still here. It looks like, okay. Yeah, but, all right, well.
That is all the questions. Oh, let's see. I think that is all the questions we have.
Yeah.
Crystal does say that we've helped so much, and thank you.
Oh,
Yes.
Thank you so much, Crystal. Thank you.
Thank you, Dawn. We appreciate everybody for tuning in to our second Flock Talk. And if you have any questions, make sure you drop your email, and yeah, we'll announce a winner. Actually, we'll have 4 winners. We'll have one for the start and grow, and then
3 bags.
3 winners for these awesome canvas bags. Okie dokie. Well, Dawn, Cheyenne, where are you at? Hold on. Oh, there she is. Moshelle. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you again soon.
Thank you.